Okay, we're at Taste of Columbia in Bronte, and this is John Hendricks, a planner of 41 years. He's been the director of planning for Niagara-on-the-Lake. He's worked in the private sector as well. So today we're here to talk about some of the issues going on in Bronte with growth and developments. We're a minor growth area, and the challenge we face here is we constantly get appealed, and the community comes together, makes a plan, and then they sort of lose hope in these plans because different products are delivered. So we know there's a different system, a different provincial system that has some tools that can help us that I'm campaigning on called the community planning permit system. And that's something you're also an expert in and have some experience with. So why don't we just dive into what are some of the advantages of a community planning permit system?
At the beginning of the process, what we're trying to do is ensure that the public is engaged in the planning system right up front, setting out the design standards for future development. Basically, you're blending into one system. You're blending your site plan, your minor variance, and your zoning approvals into one system, so you're not having to go through that anymore.
Right.
For what people are after, especially with the amount of intensification that we're dealing with, it's really important that we have an alternative to the old system, because the old system was not built for the kind of development that we're doing today. It's built for something that was going on 30 years ago, and we're just not allowed to do that anymore.
Yeah, that's a good point, and especially as we have sites that need redevelopment. The old
Exactly.
system was kind of greenfields. It's residential, commercial, industrial, keep them separated, try to connect them a little bit.
Now we're trying to blend them into one site.
But now we have mixed use, a lot more complicated development, so we need different planning tools essentially.
Have to, and design matters.
Design is a good point. So we have design guidelines now that are optional, and oftentimes once we get into the appeals, that's the last thing you're talking about, because you're focused on density and parking and things like that. And
it's not enforceable.
It's not enforceable.
It's not to the degree that
design standard with community planning permits. That's a lot more enforceable, and it's of a lot more interest and doable. And the new buildings could have that character that represents who we are as a village. And that sounds like it's a lot more possible with community planning permit system.
Well, it's certainly it's a better start than what we're working with right now, where you can't talk about those things. Not really. I mean, you do ultimately, but if a developer's spending all their money fighting at OLT or fighting at council to get something approved, they're blowing a lot of budget, and at the end of the day, they won't have any money left for some of the things that you could otherwise talk about. And I think that's what Ontario is really suffering from is you're getting some good design projects, but I think we could be doing better if we could spend more time on design and less time on process, because the process is sucking up time and therefore a lot of money.
So when I think of the community planning permit system, I think of it as a win-win-win system. The community gets a product that they want, and they get an appropriate scale of development for their area. They get the historical elements in the buildings that they desire. Planning staff gets to spend less time and resources on appeals and more on being proactive and in the community doing engagement. And the development community, they have the surety. They don't need to go for more height, because they know transparently exactly what's allowed, and they can move much more quickly.
The province is looking for positive examples where this can be done, and they're willing to step up and help. And I think that if you can build your system right now, bring that certainty, and then a developer says, okay, we know what we have to design to.
Yeah.
We can get into Oakville in this marketplace quickly. We know what the market's going to buy in the short period of time. Okay, we're a go.
Lakeshore Road, in my calculations, is about 30% redeveloped in the commercial area, which is mixed use. That means we have 70% to go. That currently doesn't have application, but is zoned for higher heights, so we know we're getting applications. So in my mind, the community planning permit system in place, that 70% can really set the tone and the character of the village and get the right types of retail and mixed use in the right places. And these are 100-year decisions that are being made, so it can set the course for the future and put us in a good place.
Well, I like your perspective. The glass is 70% full. If you don't get on it soon, it may be 50% or less. So the sooner you get on it, the better.
Yeah. Well, I think we can do it here in Bronte. So, John Hendricks, thanks for your time.
Yeah.
And appreciate you giving us your insight. You've obviously thought about this for a lot of your career and have experience in how to bring it forward. And I think that's something that can benefit our community, and we can get it done.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah. Thanks for your time, John.
All right, John.
Take care.
Yeah.